Welcome back, terrestrials. In this episode, we're doing 1986's Chopping Mall.
Yes, we are.
Um, Obviously, this is the year that I was born, so it's the greatest movie ever. I have a special kinship to this movie.
Right.
Director is Jim Wow Winowski.
Wynorski.
Yeah,
Wynorski.
Winarski. Yeah. I really should have just listened to somebody else say that instead of butchering it a handful of times.
Right.
Budget 800,000. I couldn't find a box office for it. I don't know that it ever really had a release.
Right.
Kills, we're talking 9, 10 kills, and not including the robots. Nudity, yeah. It's a mall movie. It's a mall murder robot movie. Of course there's nudity
Right.
talking about. Um, so let's hop into it. Jerry, what are you grading this movie?
Mm, B plus.
Yeah, solid.
B
I'll give it
plus.
Yeah, I'll give it a B plus. I think that's a good, yeah. I
Yeah.
was gonna go A minus, but then even then I was like, be honest with yourself. And I was like, okay, yeah,
I mean,
B
look,
plus.
like when you're watching it, obviously this is a tongue-in-cheek
Mhm.
movie.
Mhm.
It's serious, but it's not serious at the same time, which makes it great. I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
you think about like the casting, or the guys in the writing room just being like, okay, got an idea, fucking chopping mall. And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, that's a great title. What's this movie about? It's
Yeah.
like security robots going crazy. And
Yeah.
then everybody just kind of looks around the room and goes, fuck it, yeah, do it. All right, cool, man.
Hey
Like,
man,
it's for
it
cocaine.
was the
I'm so
yeah, the
excited.
cocaine 80s, bro. Um
Yeah.
I I think that I think first of all, let's talk about the fact that this was an audible. We had to call an audible to and do Chopping Mall. We had been talking about doing Chopping Mall and it always sat on the back burner. We never
Right.
really got around to it. And we were going to do Night of the Creeps because Pluto had it for like 4 days. Jerry was like, we need to
Yeah.
hurry up and watch it
Yeah.
because if we don't, it might go like when it flips from April to May, it might be gone. I was like, all right. And then last night, I go to watch it. I watch it on Friday nights. We record on Saturdays. Jerry
Right.
watches on Saturdays typically. I text him, "Oh no, dude, you were right. It's fucking gone."
Yeah.
So
But
Audible,
just
here we
because
are.
Night of the Creeps is that like mysterious beast, and
It just keeps eluding us.
yeah, if you don't have it, like, or if you don't bag it now,
Yeah,
it's gone forever.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I could just buy it. I could just rent it and I will eventually buy it at least on DVD.
Yeah, get a
I
physical
can't
copy of it.
fucking afford a VHS of it.
Right.
But I just, and I just thought it would be good for you, the viewer, to understand why we're doing Chopping Mall, what brought us to Chopping Mall.
Correct.
But yeah, cocaine 80s, silly premise. It was shot and then, the movie takes itself seriously, but by today's standards, you're like, what the fuck? Um,
Yes.
but this is peak malls. This is peak malls. Like this is the height of mall. You could go buy furniture, hardware, cars, TVs, like you could buy anything and everything at a mall. This
Hmm.
isn't the slowly dying malls of the
Of
90s.
today's.
Yeah, and definitely not today.
Right.
Um, it's just a bunch of kiosks with people trying to sell you jewelry and fingernail polish and shit. Um,
I believe that's the
the
mall from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
the
don't.
internal, the guts of it looks like, I could be wrong with it, but it definitely
Yeah,
reminds me of that Fast Times
and it
mall.
plays very very well because you need a shooting location. Well, you can't shoot when the mall's open. So now the mall is about fucking robots that are security guards. Now we have to shoot when the mall is closed, and it works
Right.
perfectly. Um, I think that the movie overall is really good. I think it's a lot of fun to watch, and it's a little bit. it's a little bit extra. It's a little
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
you know.
You can say it.
Um,
There's some stupid. There's some
yeah, yeah,
stupid, but
there's
it's
definitely some
fun.
stupid. I think that once we get into the party, that's when the movie starts becoming good. When the movie starts and we're the guy first we see like how the mall's operating
Right.
already, and we introduce ourselves to a few characters, and then we see the guy giving the presentation of like, here are these robots, there's three of them, they're going to protect your mall, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And then you get the fucking bitchy couple that are just, this one looks a little too ethnic for me.
Yeah.
What? It's a robot and it looks exactly like the other two.
They're a
Why does
callback from another one of Jim's movies called Dinner with Raoul or something.
okay,
That yeah,
not
it's
dinner with
so
Andre?
fucking obscure. I know. I've seen the movie like on HBO now and again, but I've never like taken the time to like watch it.
Yeah,
But it's those characters basically.
yeah, and their names are Mr. and Ms. Bland,
Yeah.
so that gives you everything you need to know right there.
Mm.
I think that uh, one of the first things that I noticed is like, okay, so he's giving this demonstration, um, but there are scientists slash doctors slash somebody's working in the mall in a room already set up to run these security robots.
Yeah.
And why are they wearing doctors slash scientist coats?
Because
Um,
nerds.
yeah,
Nerds got
basically.
robots.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what they did to the guy with glasses later. Like
Right.
in the movie, he's the nerd because he's got the glasses, so he has to fuck with the elevator panel control.
No,
You
he
know,
knows that
like,
shit.
yeah, of course. You got
Yeah.
glasses, go fix the computer
Right.
board. Like, what?
Did they like the mall owners just like set this security system up without telling any of the employees, like even a fucking memo? Oh yeah, hey, listen.
That's what the whole presentation was. They were telling all the
Yeah, I
the
know, but
store
I didn't
owners.
like. I mean, it's still like they're like, did they have it that day or something? It just seems kind of
It
like
it
we're gonna
seems
have a
very
party
fast,
at
yeah.
the mall. Oh, with the fucking robot security? No, I ain't coming to that fucking. Plus, you only got 6 people, dude. Fucking, you're gonna
Yeah, it's
drink
not
like
much of a party, it's a
two.
gathering.
Yeah, that must have been a hell of a sell to the couple that you know the only couples that don't work in the mall,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Hey,
the randos.
you wanna go drink some beer and bang in the fucking mall? It's like, no, no,
Look, we've all been to parties where we bang next to friends banging, okay? That's not the weird part of
no.
this
It's the
movie.
fact that we're
The
going to the
fucking
party at the mall,
look,
and it's like there's literally only 6 people here.
at 18, 19 years old, if I had a friend that worked at the mall and said, come party at the mall after it's closed, yeah, I'm doing that. Like that's fun. That's fun. That's a good idea. That sounds like a
Right.
lot. Now, granted, 6 people sucks, but
Yeah.
I would
Because like
definitely go to a party at the mall. That's
like
cool.
the only thing I can think of is that they sat there, they danced, they had like a couple of beers, and then it's like, all right, everybody go to your respectable corners and go and do whatever you're gonna do. It's like,
It's no different than a
jeez.
house party. It's just in a different location. And at least this one had multiple beds and couches. They were in a furniture store. You know how many times you've had to bang on somebody's floor because there was no couch? Like, at least this was a well-equipped place.
I
This is a
guess I don't know
bang
why
this is bang central, bro.
you're upselling the fucking like
Well, because
like
you're
party.
downselling it.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
in a
yeah.
furniture store
Fuck.
getting laid on couches, beds, whatever. They're fully set up, they're fully dressed. Like, you're not. You can bang on them,
Jeez.
and then like somebody buys them, you ship them out, whatever. Who cares?
That's
Like,
how you get lice.
that's I'm might be how COVID started.
Yeah, it's, well, I'll say that. Yeah, that's definitely. But we're talking about the outlay of the mall. In the 80s, were like restaurants just fully equipped with like locker rooms and showers and shit?
Yeah, I don't I was curious about that myself. But when we did Bolorama, we had somebody
Yeah.
tell us that like Nah, malls had that kind of shit in them.
Like a bowling alley, yeah, but like a
Yeah,
shower,
yeah.
that
Well,
seemed like
that's another thing. Like, who knows? There might have been an actual gym in the mall that we just the
maybe
scene was cut. Um, maybe
that
there
that would
was like
be
an employee. Maybe there was an employee like locker room, break room. I don't know.
maybe
I noticed that and I was like, what is it? But
just
what?
just a
All
shower.
right.
That's what that's
Well,
old fucking Jim there sitting there going, need a shower scene.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
All right, fuck it. We'll just do it. I mean,
yeah,
just do it. Who
yeah,
cares? Fucking logic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck logic.
Yeah. Just
Snore
like
some,
this
snore
same
some more
logic
cocaine.
of these robots are deadly accurate when they need to be.
Right.
You
They're
notice?
super not accurate. And
They're just
sometimes, okay. Also, can we talk about why the laser blew a head off and then also just kind of like stings a little? Like, which one is it, dude?
yeah,
Like, the laser literally explodes in head. Awesome shot. Awesome
right.
scene. And then later shoots the curly haired girl in the arm. And she's just like, no, I'm
Ow.
fine. Yeah.
Ow, I'm fine.
Ow.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what's going on here? Like, what's the deal with this?
Yeah. Could you imagine if that was the Terminator and shit? Like Terminator, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
but yeah, like the continuity definitely
yeah,
feels like script oriented, where it's
yeah.
not like no, that arm is gonna be like a gaping burn, you
Hmm.
know. But yeah, like I understand in this mall that the computer now operates everything. So you can't call, for help. You can't call for that.
Right.
But does that mean like if they were to hit like a fire alarm, like it's like, oh yeah, the
I
fire
think based
department.
on what the guy said, it seems like the bots were in control of
Okay.
making all
Yeah,
the
the computers.
calls and sending out signals at that point.
Yeah.
Because he definitely said that the bot would apprehend the bad guy or the robber or whatever, and
Shoot those
then
sleeping darts and shit.
yeah,
Fucking
yeah, and then it would itself like relay something to the roof that would send out a message or
right.
something. So
Yeah. The little like no one in the audience when that presentation was going, like, I call bullshit. I think it's gonna be just killing fucking people up in this motherfucker.
yeah, yeah,
But it did. Like, and please, anybody out there in YouTube land thinking we're
yeah.
shitting on this movie? No, I love this movie's
Yeah, yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah.
This is
But
what I
that, but
love
this is,
about
yeah,
this movie.
exactly. This is when we tell you we love a movie and then we shit on the movie. It's like when you're with a friend that you love and you just give each
Just
other shit.
yeah, just
Like,
ragging
we
on
love the movie, we rag on the movie. It just shut up, quit your bitching.
it. Right.
Um, but
But
yeah, I think that the movie is so much fun to watch,
yeah.
and how serious it is. Like, there's not a lot of like jokes about itself within the movie. Really, any.
But even that, it's like the joke is itself, you know, of
The
like,
joke is it taking itself seriously.
yeah, like, okay, if once more, and I know we've said this a ton of times in reviews of like comedy horror, okay, where if you take the comedy out, like the Burbs, okay, if you
Mhm.
take the comedy, take the funny out of that movie, it's a really good horror movie. And even though this is more of a similar, a lighthearted uh horror movie. Like if you go too dark, you have like the Terminator basically. But if you go more light, then you're dealing with like Gremlins. Okay, that's like the two, opposite ends of the spectrum here. And this one's like right in the middle. You have everything that's in a horror movie in this movie. You got uh, boobies, you got blood, you got the violence, but also like the kills are kind of silly, except for amazing head explosion. You have the that great body burn with Barbara Campfield and stuff. She's sitting there
Yeah.
like writhing
Yeah.
on the floor, and it's like, oh my god,
I don't
that's
know why she was dead for 2 minutes, still screaming,
yeah, it's
but
like suck
whatever.
it, go and put her out and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, then you have
Or
like,
shoot her, put her out
yeah,
of her misery. Like,
yeah,
stop letting your friend burn to death. Put a bullet in her head.
yeah, and there that's played very, very straight. But then you have like the robot got tired of shooting with his laser beam and threw the one guy off of the 3-story balcony.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, is that in its
I don't
protocol?
see, it's funny because like you're saying that like there's these lighthearted, silly moments. I didn't find any of it lighthearted or silly. Like,
Eh,
I think that the movie speaks to two big things for me. And one is in the 80s, they really thought that we were going to have technology like that, like in the
oh yeah,
future. And then two, also with that technology, the fear that it would do things like that. I Robot, Ex Machina, these
right,
style movies where the robots become sentient and make decisions for themselves. Terrifying. So it's
right,
playing on these two things, and there's no jokes in this movie. There's no like
right.
campy, like, when he gets thrown over the balcony, there's no like wah wah wah, like they're not playing it as a joke. It's still being played every like
Is serious,
serious, right? And
but
then we can laugh at it because it's 2024
mm,
and we're going, haha, that's silly. But in
hmm
1986, I don't think anybody laughed at any of it. I don't think anybody found humor in any of it. And that's kind of still how I view it, though I can sit there and see why. I can see why like you find the humor in it. I think that this is played as a terrifying sci-fi horror movie that like really, it plays on those two aspects that I mentioned earlier, and
yes,
that it's great for those reasons, but it's silly because of today's standards. Like we know, instead of being like, oh no, we got to run all the way around the mall and shit. Like, no, you could just put some benches in a circle and trap them in there and then you can fucking leave.
yeah,
Or you can just go hide somewhere and not move. She successfully hid in the pet store from one of the robots. So that's an option. Stop moving, stop shooting them. Don't go on the
no, just
offensive,
hide,
just hide.
hide
Like
until
stay in
morning.
the vent until in the morning. Like
Right.
there's
But,
so
I
many
wanted to know what
options.
happened to Bobby or whatever his name
Yeah.
was,
I don't know a single one of their I do know
Yeah.
two of their names, but that's either way, it
No.
doesn't matter.
But like where the comedy also like every time one of the robots killed someone, it says have a nice day,
Right,
you
right,
know.
right.
And also like about going more serious horror. Like you could have had like, the robot like rips guts or something, is like I was just
Well,
when I was
doesn't he
watching it,
rip through the one scientist guy
yeah, he goes
and
through the magazine
right.
and grabs but I don't remember
Oh,
seeing
okay.
any like really like gore,
Okay. Okay.
not saying that gore creates horror, but just like where if it was more serious, if it was on the serious side, it would have had more of a darker tone. But because of the robots being silly themselves, like the fucking like if we were walking around and I saw that fucking robot, my first reaction wouldn't be to like ah fucking like who gives a shit, it's a
Yeah,
robot,
yeah. Well, I
until till the
it's
fucking slaughter started coming on, then I would
right.
go, oh
Yeah.
shit, you know
It seemed like no matter what they did, the robot had an answer. And
yeah,
that's
no,
an
it was
interesting aspect. I think that what this movie really did well, and it goes back to what I mentioned earlier, is like it plays on the idea that like eventually we're going to integrate with technology and technology is going to be a part of our lives. And like our cell phones listen to us. Our cameras are always watching us. These are things that like you give up for the sake of technology. And it's the same thing with this movie. You're giving technology the job of being security, and it's so 50s 60s sci-fi
Mm,
of like this concept of like bringing in the robot to do the human job, and then unlike humans it can't distinguish good guy from bad guy. All it sees, it doesn't know the distinguishing factors. It doesn't register gun versus somebody doing this, or
hmm.
so it plays on all these fears. And then you get these characters that are very much, they seem mostly proactive. There's a few points where they kind of give up,
Right.
and understandably, because these robots, like I said, always have an answer. Like you knock them over, they can stand themselves up.
Hmm.
Like you blow them up, they're fine. You shoot them point blank with a pistol, they're also still fine. Their
Yeah.
lasers malfunction, but they're still fine. It's just like it's this it's this never-ending battle essentially. And even the ending with her, I guess, Molotoving them some, I don't,
Yeah.
it was a paint store. I don't really know how it
There's a
exploded like
lot
that,
of like
but you know,
chemicals that you would never want to have indoors. They're just like cans of gas, fucking propane tanks. It's like that
bro,
shit.
it's the 80s. They
Yeah,
were they were
that shit needs to
fucking,
be outside. Fuck.
I guarantee you whoever worked in that fucking hardware store with all them gas cans smoked right next to him. He
Yeah.
probably put his fucking cigarette out on those gas cans. Um
Yeah. But
like
still, it's so weird.
it is very weird. I mean, it was weird just looking at. That's why I had so much fun with the movies, because like I
Yeah.
miss malls, not these malls, but those malls.
Yeah.
Like just where it was
Imaginary.
just everything is in this
Right.
one building. It was like a Walmart on crack. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything you could possibly need was in a mall.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
Going
I
back to
think
your technology thing,
yeah,
like I really like that idea, you know. But knowing the director Jim Wynorski, he's just like, nope, robots,
yeah,
security,
yeah,
fucking like
yeah,
all of that whole scenario.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
if Jim saw this, I was like, never thought about that. Fuck, I was
yeah,
just trying
yeah.
to put robots in a goddamn mall.
Right, right, right.
Fucking
Yeah.
like that's all I could think about.
I think I over gave this movie
Yeah,
credit. There was a lot of like whiffing fucking white powder and
right.
going, it'd be awesome as if,
Yeah, like this is also like I was thinking about like weird combinations. Like this is one of those weird combinations. It's like killer clowns from outer space. It's like, do
Mhm.
you think that's too much? Nope, fucking put the clowns from outer
Yeah.
space.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, let's put Jason in Manhattan.
Hmm.
How long is he gonna be in Manhattan? Like 5 seconds. Fuck
Yeah.
it. You
Let's
know.
put a leprechaun in the hood
Yeah,
or
let's
space or
yeah.
anything.
Freddy
Let's put a
Krueger
leprechaun in
impregnates you
general.
and shit.
Yeah,
Fucking
exactly.
uh, all right, Halloween 3, no Michael Myers. We're gonna have
Yeah.
little kids. Fuck it, you know, like
Yeah, yeah.
that. That's what makes
That
like you
wasn't
could.
cocaine, that was mushrooms.
Well, the other was
That was
fucking
some extra shit.
something,
Yeah.
you know.
That was
But
something trippy to come up with an idea like that.
like, I like these because you can have like a really good like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre by itself is is
It's a
by
story
far
of a
one of the
home
best,
invasion.
yeah, one of the best movies ever.
Yeah.
But Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, I
Right.
adore. I
Yeah.
fucking
But
love that
for a
movie
completely different
because
reason.
yeah, and so it's like Halloween, perfect movie. But Halloween 3 is the fucking shit because of how
Yeah.
fucking crazy it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chopping Mall has no bounce off. It
Yeah.
has no like, this isn't Chopping Mall 2 where they decided to do security robots and
The
fucking
closest thing that you can get to that is like, all right, so these killbots, which was I think a working title for this was Killbot.
right.
Um, but anyways, I think that the closest thing to this is like Sam and Space Odyssey, like
Okay.
where like he's keeping secrets, like
Right.
the machine is making the decisions, and the human is having it, not in such an aggressive manner, but that's the only thing akin to this that I can think is like the computer is actually calling the shots and the human is having to live around
Right.
its actions.
The one that kept it was Terminator coming to
Mm.
my mind.
Yeah,
Not the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
traveling in the past, but
Right, right, right.
just you can't kill it by like conventional means. You have to
Right,
find some
right,
kind of inventive way. You have
right.
to outthink this computer that knows
Yeah,
more
this
than you do,
killbot.
you know.
Yeah.
That was the only thing, but like I
Yeah,
said,
that's
it
probably
doesn't,
better than mine,
yeah,
honestly.
it really doesn't matter because of the like what it is. It just that it is. And
Yeah.
because of that, it's such a like genuine movie. Like I could have like I know when I was like a snobby like high schooler and I saw Chopping Mall and I brought
Yeah.
this home and I think I turned it off because
Yeah.
it
Right.
wasn't like you know like that title's so fucking great, Chopping Mall.
Yeah.
But yet it's like, you fucking kidding me? Robots? There
Yeah.
ain't no chopping. I thought it would be like,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
Jason thing.
Yeah.
But now going back to it, it's like, yeah, it's so fucking catchy. The music in it is fucking
Yeah,
catchy.
the
I'm gonna be
music is
singing that music fucking for weeks now.
yeah, that I mean that was the height of that new wave synth sound.
Right.
Like that was the jam back then, and it plays well in this. And you know, when you because I still listen to that style of like retro wave music.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It's good, like instrumentals when you're just drawing and or just listening, like doing work or something like that. But it works well with the scenes because they're
Yes.
running and you got that like
Yeah.
and it's just like hustling down a hallway and shit. And it's just it works well, it plays well with the movie and
Yep.
time frame, the time era. Um and the robots, like, the name is like you could you can ask pretty much anybody who likes horror and they'll go, yeah, I know Chopping Mall, whether they've seen it or not. Yeah, but the people who've seen it love it.
Right.
There's not very many people, and I feel like the people that do go, they don't, they just don't have like
They
a
saw the
deep.
title and they were like, oh, it's kind of dumb.
Yeah,
And, you
they
know,
did what your high school version did. They saw the
exactly.
title, went, that's awesome, watched it, and was like, what the fuck? You're
My
missing the point.
appreciation. Yeah, like
Right, right,
especially
right.
like I said, Killer
Yeah,
Clowns,
it
Jason
takes
in
horror
Manhattan.
maturity.
It is a Halloween 3. It's a
Right.
weird concept that
It's an
actually
offshoot.
fucking works really
Mhm,
well. And I
mhm.
think that's why I was like prone to pick this. Like when you were like, yeah,
Yeah.
the Night of the Creeps is not happening. I was like, oh, Chopping Mall. Because when I was watching Night of the Creeps, I was thinking Chopping Mall while watching this. Like it's like in the same universe. Like
Hmm.
if Freddy and Jason exist in the same universe to make Freddy versus Jason, then Chopping Mall, fucking Night of the Creeps, um, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, they all happen in the same universe, in just different places and shit. Like, oh, did you hear about the mall that like had robots and fucking started killing people? Did you hear about the town that went?
Yeah, that was the town that was right next to the town that got invaded by killer clowns.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's
Like an
in
Erie,
this.
Indiana kind of thing where there's always something strange happening. Like
No,
that's a good movie right
yeah,
there. Like the universe of like all this shit has happened to this one town.
mm, yeah, like, and it's all narrated by Corey Feldman, who's still
Oh
living in
no,
that
we're good.
same house from fucking the Burbs and shit.
Yeah, yeah, that would be cool. Um,
But yeah, that's how I was thinking it. Like, and I want to go and find more where it's like, and it's got to be a certain one. It's not like, oh, Jason exists in this. No, it's these like really oddball horror movies that came out in the like Slumber Party Massacre 2.
mhm.
That happens in this universe. Not the
Yeah,
first one, because the
right.
first one's real serious, but
Yeah,
the
the
second one
first
is
one, yeah.
goofy as shit.
Right, right, right.
That takes place in this universe.
I think that there's a lot of them, but I feel like you're going to run yourself ragged trying to find them. I think that naturally coming across them like Chopping Mall, because
Oh
like
yeah,
when we were going to do Chopping Mall initially, you were pretty hesitant about it. You were like, yeah, that's you always made it seem like that was one that we were going to get to. And I
right.
was actively like Chopping Mall, and you'd be like, yeah, but
Mm.
instead you would shake like shiny keys in front of me to distract me. And then we were going to do Chopping Mall versus Mallrats because they were both mall movies when we were
Right.
doing the versus is.
We just had to
But
find the right time, you know.
yeah,
How many times
I
can we say
thought it
we
was the
like the
right
fucking
time
movie,
12
you know?
times.
Right, right. But on that note, Jacob, is this
Oh,
a cult
no,
classic?
absolutely.
Oh,
This is the cultiest classic, cult
okay.
classic. Just real quick, I just want to
Okay.
mention how bitchy that dude got when his girl died.
Okay.
Like when
He
she
turned into
died
her.
from
He
Well,
turned into
yeah.
her
Well,
basically.
yeah, basically. But like she dies from fire and he turns into a complete bitch. Everybody else still has their significant other and he's like pouting the entire time and like threatening people to shoot
How
them with a
come you
shotguns.
didn't stay in the vents?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was because
Like
it was
cuz
really
she's an
hot up
adult and she
there.
can do whatever she wants.
It was really hot. They turned that shit
Yeah.
up to like 86, you know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it was
don't
hot.
know.
We had to cover our hands to crawl, you bitch.
Right, right.
All right, yes, cult classic, the most
It's a
cultiest
cult
classic.
classic, right? Are you gonna go see it in the theater?
I would love to see this in theaters.
Yeah, it would be great in the theater. Own a physical copy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I own a physical copy, so I
Yeah, yeah, I
can't.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the remake?
No. This is one of those ones that just don't touch it because it's going to be CGI and shit. Just leave it alone.
I think if
No. See,
I think
no.
if I think if
Whatever you're going to say,
do it
no.
like, you know, really, I think the premise though, it would have to be set in the 80s anyway. First of all,
Yeah,
because
but
there's
they're
no fucking
still going to
malls.
CGI
Like
it.
what would be well, you know, I'm not even but the premise in general. I mean, the only thing a robot could kill in
It'd
a
be a
mall these
Walmart.
days are like, oh, fucking
It would
yeah,
just
the
be a Walmart
chopping
or
mall.
something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, a chopping mart instead.
Chopping mart. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
like
God.
they would fucking ruin it so fast. There's like here's another great idea. Let's remake The Crow. Like stop making movies. Like god damn it, stop it.
Meanwhile, we were praising
But
Hellraiser fucking
hey,
2 weeks ago
I'm
about
not
their
saying
remake.
that they can't do it properly.
They
I'm
just
saying
shouldn't.
chances are they're not going to.
Yeah. We
It's
say,
as simple as that.
I wouldn't, but if you do, do it right, or we're gonna
Right.
come on here and shit on
Right.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.